What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? We are coming at you live from the epicenter of the universe, Boston, Massachusetts, the greatest city in the world. Let's get right into it. We're going to do local news first, international news second, and we have a lot to talk about with the Vision Pros. I think we got the Joe Rogan newest deal with Spotify. We're going to talk about what I think is the future with AI, that holds, a lot more also, but those are a few things to look forward to in the international section. So let's first talk about the local news. Okay, just to get really, this is last week, but just to get this out of the way and get the summary rundown wrapped up, the Newton teacher strike is now officially over. You can see more about it on the Inner Circle .blog. The link should be above or below, wherever my editor decides to put it. So just quick update also. Now have an editor, so if you watch this online, you're going to see that there's going to be more clips coming out, as you might have already noticed. And there is a very good writer, my good friend and also Newton resident, that's writing for the Inner Circle .blog. So the stories are up there in the link, the Inner Circle .blog. There's stuff about the Newton teacher strike. There's stuff about really anything, whether it be pop culture or news. So the Newton teacher strike is over. I'm not going to go into all the details, but essentially they got a 13% raise over 4 years, which is 3.25 a year, 3.5%, which if you calculated it out, it's actually less than inflation. So it's not the greatest win, I would say. It's a decent deal. I wouldn't say it's the best deal. I would honestly probably say that it's a terrible deal. If you really calculated it out, it's less than inflation, and these are the teachers that make Newton great. These are the teachers that make Newton the city that it is. These are the teachers that make Newton worthy of the high taxes. So, I mean, it's better than nothing. It's better than nothing, and I'm glad the schools are back open. But realistically, 3.25% a year is not a lot. It's less than inflation every year. The teachers are still going to get crushed, really. In terms of financially, this is less than inflation. I mean, it is what it is. That's all I need to say. You can read more about it online. There is a new bakery in town, okay? So to talk about something a little bit on a lighter note, it's called Mia's Bakery. It opened November, around November 2023. So it's pretty good. I've been told that it's pretty good. My family members have told me that it's pretty good. I haven't tried it myself. The review is coming soon. The Little Luke's review is up on the YouTube, fully up. Little Luke's review, fully up. You can see some clips on their Instagram too. Little Luke's is a place that I reviewed a little while back now, but phenomenal breakfast place as well. But yeah, I'm excited to try this new bakery, Mia's. Oh, okay, yeah. So this is a pretty big one. And yeah, well, also before we even move on, the bakery stuff. There's a lot of good breakfast in Newton these days. There's a lot of really good breakfast in Newton these days, and in Boston in general. Shout out Doughboy Donuts. I want to try and make it into a series of every week, maybe every couple weeks, going to a new place and reviewing it, both video and blog review. So now that we have the blog website set up, now that I have a cameraman and editor, hopefully there's going to be more video reviews, more content. We also have an in-office intern. I'll put the clip up onto the screen now that we recorded. This was a skit, to everyone wondering. This was staged. This was not real. Yo, Dustin, it's 2:00. I think you can go, my man.
Oh, really?
Okay.
All right, perfect.
Cool.
Let me just get my stuff real quick, and I'm gonna be heading out.
Cool. You gonna get your Beats, my dude, and your charger?
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
About that.
Yeah. All right, cool.
Take care, man.
Peace. Great acting on my new intern Dustin's part. So we'll see how it goes, because he came in late on his second day ever. So I had to post this I'm feeling the effects of people coming in late right now. Let me pull this up. It's about 12:40 p.m. Let's just see on the computer. Yep, 12:45 Tuesday. This dude Dustin is nowhere to be seen. It is 12:40. He's not here. Work starts at 12. All right? This guy is coming in at 12. Talk about a late start. All right? 12 is not that early. So what do we do? Vote. Is he out? Do we just... No response either. No heads up, no response. I messaged him beforehand. He has no message. Do we fire him or not? In response. So we'll see what the people say. If he's fired, if he's not, if he's going to get to stay, if he won't. We'll see how it goes for him, you know? This is a cold, hard world, and we're really hurting right now, you know? We're having to make cutbacks, you know? Clearly, starting with him. So, we'll see how that goes. That's just a personal update. But yeah, hopefully with the new team, with the new staff, we'll be able to pump out reviews, blogs, all of the sorts. We have the new Instagram for the blogs. We have a lot of stuff going on. So check it all out. Digest the content. Enjoy. Passenger, this is the one that I was going to say. Kind of a big one. Because I don't hear a lot about plane failures or plane issues at Logan Airport. Usually it's pretty good. But a passenger basically saw a broken wing or like a piece of the wing coming off of the plane from San Francisco to Boston. They were flying. They had to emergency land in Denver. So just out of the window, imagine you're flying and you're just chilling, drinking your tomato juice or soda, eating your popcorners, and then out the window you look, and the wing is flying off. Like, I've seen sometimes a little bit of a sketchy wing where I didn't know, like, I didn't know it was always, like, but sometimes the wings look a little sketchy where it's like, they have, like, a little piece that's, like, a different color, you know, like, if you ever see, but that apparently I was told is kind of normal. But you know when, like, a car has, like, a new bumper, but it's, like, a not the same paint kind of bumper? I saw that on the wing of a plane one time, and I was getting a little bit concerned. I'm not going to lie. I was a little bit concerned. But I can't imagine seeing a whole piece of the wing fly off. These planes are supposed to be really, really, like, we don't really even think about it, but these planes are supposed to be very, very safe. They always say they're very safe. It's a very small % chance that anything happens. But it's like, I don't even think about it, but except one time recently I did. When I was on the plane, you don't really notice it much, but when you're sitting on there, relatively to how high up you are from the ground, there's not that much space between you and the sky, the open air. Like right next to you, when you're sitting in a plane seat, say you're in the window seat, I guess, is more what I'm trying to say, is if you're in the window seat, imagine you're sitting right here, and right here is the window. There's not that much physical distance between you and just really fast wind blowing your way. Like, it's a pretty, it seems pretty dangerous, but then everyone who I know that's, like, pretty smart mechanically or engineering wise says that it's really, really safe, like, super safe, like, maybe even safer than trains, I think, potentially. I don't want to say, like, some fake news on here, but I believe I was told that planes might be safer than trains or safer than cars, if I'm not mistaken. They say that, but then, I don't know, when I'm in a car, it doesn't sound as dangerous. The car doesn't sound as dangerous, but I guess it is. More of a chance you're going to get crashed into, that's for sure. It just seems like this is pretty rare. I've never ever heard of anything going wrong with anything to do with Logan Airport that's like plane wise. I saw that there was some commotion last year. I know there was that at Logan Airport, but nothing to do with the planes. So this is the first time I'm seeing something to do with the plane specifically. And just to wrap it up, somewhat related to the city of Boston, specifically in Seaport, I know people have been seeing the things with the migrants being released from jail in New York, after like committing some crimes on police officers and doing some assault. There's migrant issues all over the southern border with Texas putting up their own makeshift barbed wire border and ignoring the federal government's orders. A Seaport building, basically, Fort Point office building in Seaport, Boston, could be a new temporary migrant housing building. I didn't even know we had a lot of migrants in Boston, but apparently it's a big deal. Apparently it's getting kind of bad. And yeah, I don't know what they're going to do, but I don't know how they're coming to I guess they're being sent to New York, and then from New York they're coming to Boston, and some are being shipped from Texas. They're sending them to Martha's Vineyard. So I guess those people are coming to Cape Cod, and then eventually they'll end up towards the city of Boston. So it is what it is. I don't know what's going to be done about that, but hopefully, Mayor Wu is on the case. So getting into international affairs. I guess maybe I should say more. International/national. The other stuff was local. That was local. This is international/national. Biden to send 153,000 borrowers an email saying that your debt is canceled. Straight up canceled. No more debt for 153,000 student loan borrowers. That's a pretty big number. Good move before the re-election. It's a good move, Mr. Biden. And I'm sure a lot of people are going to be pretty happy about this. This sounds like a good deal, but anytime something sounds like a good deal and you think it's too good to be true, it probably is. Have you ever heard that? I don't know how this would be a scam, though. I feel like they have to be they have to be doing it now that they said they're doing it. But I guess we'll see if this holds up. That's a lot of people. 153,000 borrowers, and each person at probably $10K minimum. It's a lot. It's a lot. I think they were saying that it's like $1 billion or a crazy amount, $1 billion or $1 trillion they have set aside for this bill. So it's a lot. It's a lot, and it's a big investment. And they went through I was reading 153 different kinds of actions, legal actions to get this passed. So yeah, it's pretty good. I would say this one is an overall win on Biden's part. I don't see how anyone, regardless of your political affiliation, I don't see how anyone could really be against this. It seems like everyone across the United States has student loans. 1.2 billion. So okay, yeah, not trillion. Let's slow the horses. 1.2 billion in student loans. This was just 5 hours ago. Today is Wednesday, February 21st, 2024. $1.2 billion in student loan debt. 150,000 borrowers. And in total, the Biden administration has already canceled $138 billion of student debt for nearly 3.9 million borrowers. Incredible. That's actually pretty good. That's actually pretty good. As Larry David said, that is pretty good. Love him or hate him, this is good. This is good. Speaking of Biden and a little bit of politics, Tucker Carlson went to Russia, really tried to hype it up. He only went to Moscow, really tried to hype it up. And I think it's because, as a Russian, I think Putin's trying to obviously spread some propaganda our way. But also, new election coming in, I think he's kind of trying to buddy up with the Trump crowd by going on Tucker Carlson, by doing this interview. He doesn't really have to do any interviews, but he's doing an interview with an American, and specifically Tucker Carlson. There's a lot of other interviewers that he could have done this with. I think he meticulously chose Tucker because it kind of aligns with the Trump crowd, and it puts him into a kind of, it gets him into the favor. I'm seeing which is crazy. I never thought I'd say this, but I'm seeing pro-Russia memes on social media, on Instagram, YouTube, and the comments are pretty pro-Russia after seeing this Tucker stuff. And he went to like a McDonald's in Moscow, like a new Russian brand McDonald's, because McDonald's obviously has pulled out of Russia. So, and they're putting nice music on it. They're kind of making memes out of it. So people are liking it and people are supporting it. But I think it kind of failed because no one understood the interview. I don't think anyone, the translations I saw in a portion of it was wrong. I speak Russian. A portion of it was wrong. I don't think anyone watched it with subtitles. I don't think the interview was as big as they thought it would be because Putin just went on and on and on about random history lessons, and some of them were just wrong. I'm pretty sure at one point he tried to blame Poland for the start of World War II because Poland wouldn't give up they wouldn't give up something historical. They wouldn't give it up. It was theirs. Hitler wanted it, or they wouldn't give up the country, and Hitler wanted it, and they didn't give it up. And so Putin was basically trying to compare it to the fact that, like, oh, well, Ukraine's not trying to give up their own country, so it's their fault that this conflict is happening. It's a very, very stupid worldview, but that's a dictator's worldview. That's what happens when you interview a dictator for 3 hours. And he just rants and rants and rants and rants. But he even called out Tucker for trying to join the CIA, and he roasted him. He roasted him in the middle of the interview. So I don't know. I think they're kind of roasting Tucker on the local news also in Russia. I'm pretty sure I saw a clip of that. So it's not exactly the same narrative that is being. He's not being really praised as much as Americans think in the comments on these Tucker posts in Russia and Moscow of these videos. All these Americans are commenting as if Tucker's loved in Russia and showing these clips of Russians talking good about him. But there's a lot of clips of Russians talking bad about him. So don't believe everything you see on the internet immediately. Getting into the next point here, we are coming in to the final third of the program here. So farmers protesting in Germany, France, Poland, Spain, India. In France, they want improved pay, less bureaucracy. In Germany, farmers who are already struggling, these are what my notes are saying, they're already struggling. They're not willing to pay for more of their pollution. So they're already paying for their pollution. This is just to increase it more. The government wants them to pay more fees for the pollution, for the food that they produce for the countries. So, of course, they're pushing it on the farmers. In Belgium as well, on top of all these countries, Belgium and in Ireland, on a smaller scale, 100,000 tractors went to protest in Germany. 100,000 tractors. Not farmers, tractors. We're going to pull up the videos onto the screen now.
Nosotros queremos competir en la misma baraja. Si estos señores pueden tirar un producto, yo también le quiero tirar.
If you've seen videos like this is more tractors than you could possibly imagine. I don't know what the government is thinking. I don't know what they're going to do. They're going to have, it seems like the cities are shut down because the roads are fully blocked off. The farmers also are very, very close knit. They're sticking together. I read that they're letting farmers stay in their farms. Like farms are letting farmers that own a farm on the way to a protest are just letting a bunch of farmers stay there. They are working way more in cahoots than people in the government are. So these farmers are not leaving. They're not backing down. I support it. I really do, because these are the people that make our food. These are the people that produce everything we eat. Everything. So if we just say, oh, you can't produce that food anymore, or we're going to make it too expensive for you, what are we going to eat? Seriously, what are we going to eat? There's already enough junk. There's already enough junk food all over the world. What are we going to eat? Lolly balls? What are we going to eat? I'm not eating this crap. 79% of food, rooters, however you want to pronounce it, boom on the screen now. 79% of food sold have BPA plastic. 79% of food sold have BPA plastics. That's Consumer Report found that out. A study found that. Reuters.com. You just saw it. What are we going to eat? 79% of food? Are we going to be eating genetically modified food? I don't want none of that. Bugs? I don't want none of that. And I know these are all those are conspiracy talking points. But if we're going to what happens if the farmers lose on this? And what happens if the farmers say, well, we can't afford to make this food? What are we going to eat? I'm just posing a question. What are we going to eat? What are we going to eat? I just want to know. I really want to know. What are we going to eat? Because if the farmers aren't going to be making food, what are we going to eat? This is in Belgium, Ireland, Germany, France, Poland, Spain, India. This is not just one country. I just named you 7 countries. 7 countries where there's protests going on by this isn't just a conspiracy anymore. This isn't just a weird thing. Not one farmer, not 2 farmers, 100,000 tractors. Sometimes that's a family per tractor. 100,000 tractors. That's a lot. That's just in Germany. I'm sorry to say it. We have a problem. We have a problem with the food. I hate to say it, but we do. We have a problem, clearly. To get into a little bit of some more lighthearted stuff, some stuff that's not so deep in, not so off the charts, not so, serious. Kanye West, new album, Vultures, really good. I've listened to it. It's probably not one of his best albums because he has so many great ones, but it is definitely up there. It is definitely on the list. It is definitely high up on the charts. I would say it is better than the Bipolar Ye one where the cover was the mountain. I think it's actually better than Life of Pablo. So go take a listen. Vultures, out now, but it was removed from Apple Music, I believe, but it's still on Spotify, if I'm not mistaken, so go check it out. Vultures, Kanye West. Now, next up in comedy news, comedian Shane Gillis on his 2024 Bud Light tour. So apparently Bud Light, they just took a sharp 180 from sponsoring Dylan Mulvaney to sponsoring Shane Gillis, the biggest endorser, biggest drinker, biggest lover of Bud Light that I've ever seen. He didn't shoot them like Kid Rock did. He didn't give up on them. He didn't turn his back on them. He chugged. He shotgunned. He got destroyed of Bud Lights day in and day out, through the controversy, before the controversy, and now in the present time after the controversy. So it is not a surprise, but it is a perfect brand deal. He had two returns in a row with the Bud Light deal, and he is hosting SNL, which he got fired from, I believe, in 2019 before he even made it on air. He was hired, and then immediately once the articles came out that he was hired, he got canceled for a podcast episode he did where he said some racist stuff. So this is huge. Now he's back on SNL, and he's got a huge Bud Light deal. So in terms of big deals, Newton South graduate, fellow Newton South graduate, Joe Rogan. Gets another $250 million Spotify deal. It is including ad share and no exclusivity agreement. So he is back on YouTube, back on wherever, Apple, I don't know, probably, honestly, besides Spotify, there's only YouTube that he's probably going to post it on. Maybe Apple Podcasts, but no one even uses Apple for anything anymore, like Apple Podcasts for music or podcasts. I think it's Spotify and YouTube for streaming, which is back. So this gets me very excited because this just shows, first of all, not a lot of people talk about it, but Newton South has got some crazy alumni. Joe Rogan, John Krasinski. I mean, these are some pretty big names. And when you Google online, high schools with the most celebrities from it, because me and my friends were talking about it, Newton South isn't even on the list. And the high schools that are on the list, the celebrities from those high schools are like no-name celebrities that no one knows. So, yeah, I mean, I guess they're trying to keep it on the down low, but now you know. Joe Rogan is from Newton South High School. Got another $250 million deal. This is on top of the other one that he already got like 4 or 3 years ago. I think it was $250 million for 4 years. But it was exclusive. So he could only publish his podcast, and all the episodes were made exclusively available on Spotify. You couldn't even access them anywhere else. So there would be clips and stuff on YouTube, but it was only full episodes on Spotify. So I think we are coming right up on 29 minutes right now. We're going to have a 30-minute total program because we are on a time limit here on New TV. If you're watching this on YouTube, we have no time limit. But just to really wrap it up, OpenAI, Sora, new virtual reality goggles, the Apple VRs are being returned because they give people headaches. That's exactly what my Oculus was doing too. A question I'm going to leave you with. If there was a perfect human-looking AI that thought like a human, felt like a human, talked like a human, would you be able to tell the difference? And how? How would you be able to tell the difference between a perfect-looking human robot that is, in fact, an AI? Would you be able to tell or not? It's a question I'm going to leave you with. So good day and good night.